Hey everyone, it's Miss Tasha. I'm back again, Tasha Lee Maldonado. I'm back again with my recorded video segment for Wednesday's Healthy Family Day, and sometimes the segment will contain things about marriage or childhood, parenthood, anything family oriented is what the video is going to contain. And today my video blog will be about discipline in toddlers. And basically I'm going to start off with a story because I can only teach from my own personal experience, so I'm going to go ahead with a story and to illustrate my point. Because, you know, us as parents, we kind of sometimes, not always, sometimes we are really quick to judge when it comes to our children, especially our toddlers. And a lot of things that they do, they're not doing it because they're trying to be mischievous. They're actually doing things because they don't know any better. But if we don't stop to think about that, they're not exactly working on the same amount of experience that we've had in life. I mean, our toddlers have been around 2 whole years. 2 whole years is not a lot of life to have lived. To have the experience that we have, let's say 25, 30, maybe 40, some 50 years, and compared to 2 years, that's a lot of experience. So I think sometimes we need to give our kids a little bit of a break and stop and think to ourselves, why would they exactly do that? And if we ask our kids why they did certain things, a lot of times we can use that as a teachable moment instead of giving them a punishment. And I'm going to give you a story as to why I'm going to say that. Back when my older set of kids, I have kind of 2 sets of kids, as I have kids that are in high school. They will be 16 and 17 within 3 weeks apart with one another. And I have a set of kids in elementary school. I have one that is in pre-K and one that's in the 3rd grade. So if I say my first set of kids, I'm actually talking about my kids are in high school who are actually about to graduate. I have one that will be graduating next year and one that will be graduating the year after that. And I have a set of kids that kind of just started school. So yeah, I'm talking about my first set of kids. My first set of kids were little. My daughter, she was around, I want to say 2, and she had asthma, but we didn't know it yet. So her asthma, because it didn't flare up with wheezing and things like that, her asthma would be triggered and then she would throw up. But we didn't know at the time that's what was going on with her. So she was around 2 years old. We were having breakfast. I was at the house alone with my kids as my husband worked a full-time job and a part-time job. And we're having breakfast. And my daughter got sick. So I had to pick her up and run her to the bathroom so she could, you know, get sick in the toilet so it'd be easier to clean up. And my 3-year-old son was still at the table. So when I got back from taking care of her in the bathroom to the table, my son had taken a gallon of water. Well, it wasn't a full gallon. It was like a half a gallon of water. He was pretty strong for a little kid. He was around 3 years old. He was pretty strong for his age. But he took like a half a gallon of water and he had it poured all over the table. And I know a lot of people have heard this story before, but a lot of people haven't. But yeah, he poured this water all over the table, and I was already stressed out because I had this one kid that was throwing up all the time, literally all the time, almost every time she ate, and nobody knew what was wrong with her. And here he is pouring water all over the table. And my first reaction was, oh my God, why would he even, why would he do that? And I know a lot of parents probably would have looked at that and said, okay, he's in trouble. If you give spankings, he probably would have got a spanking. If you guys are someone who gives a timeout, he probably would have got a timeout or whatever. And I was really upset, but something told me stop. Ask him why. So I stopped, I took a deep breath, and I said, why would you do that? Why would you pour that water all over the table like that? And he looks at me, he says, because I was trying to help you wash the dishes. And I said, well, why would you pour water on the dishes instead of putting them in the sink? He said, because I'm too short. So in the end, the solution to that problem was not for him to get a punishment. it was for me to get a step stool, because in reality he wasn't trying to be mischievous, he was trying to help, because he saw that I was kind of in distress with my other child and he's trying to help me. He couldn't reach the sink, so he's trying to wash the dishes on the table. So I could have punished him for that, or I could have did what I did and took a time out for myself, a mental time out for myself, thought about what to do, and I asked him why. And that's basically was a teachable moment for me as well. So from that moment forward, usually I say, why? Why did you do that? And 9 times out of 10, the kids don't really have a mischievous reason for why they did it. They really either did something because they were curious, or they did something because they were really trying to help and it just went the wrong way, or they were trying to, you know, just be mischievous with one another, playing games and jokes or whatever. They didn't realize that what they were doing was going to actually affect the other person the way it did. So to make a long story short, because this is kind of a very long story, to make the long story short, that taught me to ask why. And sometimes they did it, they were trying to be mischievous, but most times they weren't. So that gave me more teachable moments with my kids over the years as compared to how many times they were being punished. And my first set of kids, compared to other kids, they have not really been in that much trouble. They don't really do anything mischievous. And a lot of the other kids that they have as friends, I've paid attention to their conversations, and they will tell them, well, I didn't really do that because I was trying to be bad, but I got in trouble for it anyway. Nobody understands me. Well, they don't, of course you don't understand them if you're not asking them why, or having conversation with them. So start off with that. That's my tip for the day. When you have your little kids, ask them why. Ask them why did they do that. Let them know that you're not upset with them as a person, you're upset with the behavior. If it really was something that they were being mischievous about, but if it's something that they were honestly didn't know any better, take that as a teachable moment. Instead of punishing them, go ahead and take that as a teachable moment to teach them a different way. Because when you teach a child a different way and they know better, they do better. That's just anyone in general. A human being in general, when they know better, 9 times out of 10, they do better. Because everybody just wants to be accepted and everybody wants to be understood. And that's basically all that I have to say today. Just talk to your kids, ask them why. Before you give the punishment, ask them why they did things. And if it warrants punishment or whatever, give them a punishment. But 9 times out of 10, it warrants a teachable moment. And that's what discipline means anyway. It does not mean punishment. Discipline means to teach, not to punish. Beauty's trying to get on the video. There she is. Say hi, Beauty.
Hi.
Well, that's all I have for today, and I guess I need to find something to say to sign off. I don't actually have anything planned to say to sign off, but I guess I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day.